Hi everybody, this is Michelle with Half the National Average, and I am checking in on you with this quarantine going on. 18% of everybody in the US out of work or on a hold. Pretty crazy stuff. But I'm here to give you some information on habit hack number 29 and to apologize for missing two of habit hacks in a row. This is the first time, but you have to prioritize your stuff, and it's been a little bit crazy. I kept running out of time. But I did not run out of time with my practice. I missed one Spanish, and I missed one other thing I can't remember. I checked it off. But I hope you guys are doing well with your habits. I do not want you to let go of your habits with this craziness. It's really important. And habit hack number 29 is a little bit about that. So we're really going to start with very loosely on Simon Sinek's Start With Why. I'll throw it up on my profile if you haven't seen it. 11 million people have seen his TED Talk, Start With Why. And I save yourself the money and the time. I don't get the books. I mean, they're pretty much regurgitations of his TED Talk, but he does a great job with his TED Talk. And he talks about how you need to, whatever you're doing, you need to really investigate the why you're doing it. And in a previous habit hack, I talked about how it's important that your habits that you pick or the dreams that you're chasing really are your dreams. Sometimes they're not your dreams and they become your dreams because you get really good at it. And that's what Steve Jobs talks about in his commencement speech. But just really investigating, okay, why are you working on what you're working on? That's important. But that's this kind of start with why. But this week's theme is all going to be the importance of dream chasing beyond the why. So beyond the why, it's because creativity of chasing dreams actually creates efficiency. So real quick, anybody who is only trading their time for money for 50, 60 hours, I mean, let's just be real, most full-time jobs, that's about what the average of time you're spending if you're getting paid, any kind of decent wage, 50, 60 hours. Now, if all you're working on is that, the grind of what your job entails, and that's what you go to sleep, that's what you wake up, then you're really going to get stagnant very quickly. And then you are eventually no longer going to be relevant for your company. And I say this because think about it. If you're only practicing and doing what you've already done, why are you worth more? You're not going to be able to solve creative problems that are completely outside of your box of practice. And so the real reason why all of you should have some dream or some creative thing that you are practicing every single day is because it actually adds to your regular job. It adds to your regular life. It adds to the raising of your family. It adds information, and it also, most importantly, gains access to the Prius brain. So this is how it works. You do your grind, right? 40, 50, 60 hours, whatever. You come home, you're tired, or better yet, you started early with your dream chasing. You do your practice. Now, I say half the national average. Maybe your average is only an hour of TV. So you take half of that, you take 30 minutes, and you spend extra time that you're just wasting anyway, and deliberately practice toward a dream or a goal or a vision that you have. Now, what's going to happen is when you practice, your brain has to get involved. It has to grab information, and it starts to actually link it to other information. You all of a sudden have access to that Prius area, or what I would always call it with my teams, the trapdoor. The trapdoor is something that your subconscious kicks information up. And you don't get to just go down in the trapdoor and find information. It actually kind of kicks it up, and then you link information that was completely not linked before. So for instance, I study the brain a lot. So for years and years and years. And so a lot of that would come into my leadership of explaining to things like why we're in a fear state, watching for fear state, becoming a better teacher. When I started learning guitar, it's so painstakingly hard for me. So I became a more patient teacher. When people are learning systems, I became more patient. So all of this information links, and it makes you better. If you aren't doing that in your life, if you're just doing the grind, be careful. Be careful, because you are lengthening your learning curve. Now, I want to share with you some of the people that we know and have pretty good understanding of some of the systems that either they've put in place or some of their journey. So the first person I would think of is Steve Jobs. Now, Steve Jobs was going to Reed College. It's a junior college in Washington, and he dropped out. Is it? Yeah, right? Well, I know he went to Reed College, and I know he dropped out, and I know it was a junior college, but he took a calligraphy class. A lot of people know this story. And he said because of that one calligraphy class, before he dropped out, he actually audited the calligraphy class after he dropped out, and then went back and talked to the professor a little bit more when he wanted some information on fonts. But he revolutionized typography for personal computers. He is the reason why we have drop-down font menus, that we get to express ourselves in our emails. That came from curiosity, from practicing something that doesn't very obviously seem like it links to what he was going to end up doing for his life, but it absolutely enriches it. It absolutely changed the whole face and makeup. Could you imagine not being able to pick, Arial or Sanskrit or New Romans Times? I mean, I don't know. I use more like what the school one. But anyway, everybody has their favorite font. This is not something that we're not aware of. Elon Musk, he said in his autobiography, the only reason he started Tesla and he started SpaceX is because he's dreamed his whole life of colonizing Mars. So he created whole multi-billion-dollar companies all from dreaming to fulfill his dreams. We think of Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson was not a singer. He didn't start out as a crazy old singer. He started out as a poet. He would write poetry. He would go to the coffee shop. He would read his poetry. And it was the coffee shop patrons who encouraged him, because he said he kind of had a raspy, weird little voice. And they said, you know what? You should really sing these poems. Passion, creativity, practice. For no money, for no other reason but making yourself better. Arnold Schwarzenegger started working out at 14, 15, depending on where you're reading your information, but young. And when he went into the army, I think it was the army, but it was military, he actually went AWOL and had to spend time in prison because he wanted so badly to be in a bodybuilding competition that he went AWOL to be in it, and then had to go to, not prison, but he had to go to jail for like a week or so for going AWOL. And you just think, what did his bodybuilding transition into? Acting, politics, businessman. So don't get it twisted out there. For those of you who are getting the confused haters, we all are getting them, that are so confused. They're saying you're not focusing on your family, you're not focusing on your business, you're spending too much time. There never is somebody, I mean, the history books are filled with people that are fans after the fact. So don't expect a lot of fans to understand when you're trying to revolutionize or change your world. That may change the rest of the world. Don't worry about it. Just keep your practice, keep your practice, keep your practice. So today's habit hack, go beyond the why and really understand that creativity builds efficiency. So if you are not doing something, then you are missing out. Continue to watch, continue to share, continue to be annoyed, Jose Torres. But whatever you do for yourself, make sure you're not just working on your one little job. Make sure that you're adding so that you become a whole, complete, fulfilled, invigorated, excited human being. All right, that's what I have for habit hack number 29. Tomorrow I am excited because all this week I'm going to really look at different examples of why it's so important that you really focus on what your habit hack is actually creating, because you're not just trying to get a better body. You're not just trying to read a book. You're not just trying to do these things, get limber. What you're actually doing is starting a practice of deliberately making yourself better. And that will spiral into every aspect of your life. Okay, so today's giveaway, if you join this project and if you tag 5 friends to let them know you're started, and I'll tell you that this week. This is a book I got a long time ago. I don't even know. I think my little brother gave it to me, but it's the screenplay. So for those writers out there, this is for you. All right, so I think I'm going to run out of time, so I better go, and I'll see you tomorrow. I can't predict the future, but I sure am going to try.